there is no leadership crucible like parenting. What do you think of that? I think that. Why do I think that? Well, because in a business setting, a couple of things. You go home at the end of the day, right? And you send your employees home. And whatever they're going to do at home is their business and not yours. You can, if your employees aren't doing what they're supposed to do, you can fire them, right? But that's not what the family is like. And that's not what the church is like. Again, parenting, you don't get to go home at the end of the day. Like, you are home at the end of the day, and you're never off the clock. In parenting, you can't fire anybody. Now, you jokingly say that. You jokingly say about your kids, like right now in our house, Penelope, she's our youngest, and she is learning about all of her opinions. She's learning loudly. And she's got big ideas. And sometimes I'm like, oh, you're fired. But that doesn't mean anything, right? Like, when you're having a hard time with your kids, you can't actually just move them to another department and let them be someone else's problem. You're never off the clock. You aren't just trying to run a profitable business, you're trying to shepherd and care for human souls. Like, that's what family is. And that's what the church is. And I think comparatively, when you're talking about the complexity of the human heart and soul, it's relatively more simple to just make money. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to disparage business ownership at all. I'm just saying that when you're looking at the eternal fate and destiny of a human soul versus how do I turn a profit this month, those are not equivalent leadership tasks. And so at home, you have a much broader leadership demand on you. You're taking care of vulnerable people. You're feeding and clothing them. You're teaching and guiding the development of their hearts and souls. You're managing conflicts. You're giving compassionate, loving care when they're hurt. And you're not, right? So I think if you were to try to summarize, like, what is the family job description? It's something, I was trying to think of this with my wife this week. It's some conglomeration of being like the warden of an insane asylum, like a small business owner, a personal coach and chef, like a conflict mediator. It's like there's all these different facets to it. And the church is a lot like that. Because you're trying to shepherd people in the eldership in the church.